Al, do you want to talk a bit about powerlifting at the gym?
Yeah. So we have, so the gym Real Fit is the ACT, I guess affiliate might be the word, for the APU, Australian Powerlifting Union, which is the IPF, International Powerlifting.
It's the only Australian one that's associated with IPF now, correct?
Yeah. So that's the one that's linked with ASADA. It's not called ASADA. What's it called now? Something. It's the only
Sports Integrity Unit Australia, I think it is.
So it's loosely linked with Sports Australia.
Which is the old ASADA.
Yeah, and whatever you said, the old ASADA. So we have the ACT state titles coming up in the 22nd of August, which due to COVID is going to be very different this year. So basically the athletes will come in, they'll lift and leave. There'll be no fanfare, no spectators, no coaches, no nothing. But if you are interested in getting involved, we're always looking for new lifters or for people that want to come in and compete and see how they go. It's very friendly. The process is pretty simple. You can train from any gym. It doesn't matter. You have to live in the ACT at this stage, or Queanbeyan.
Yeah, Queanbeyan.
Yeah, Queanbeyan as well, yeah. Possibly the South Coast.
Yeah, we're working
on it. But you can compete in a local event, which we run here at Real Fit normally at the start of the year in that sort of February kind of time frame. And then once you compete in the local event, there's different totals that you need to achieve. But if you hit a C grade total, and you can find this all online, then entitles you to compete at state titles. And then if you hit a B grade total, then that entitles you to be up for selection for the ACT team to go to nationals. If you do well at nationals, then you're open to be selected for the Australian team. So it's pretty cool. So it follows a progression. It follows essentially the same progression that all the Olympic sports follow. So they're trying to align with Sports Australia and follow the exact same processes. And it's quite good because it means it's very clear how you make a team. So
if anyone wants to get involved, do you know where they need to go off the top of your head, or you want me to put it in the notes for it?
Just contact me.
Okay,
yep,
so just contact.
Yep.
All right, I'll chuck your email in.
Yep.
I'll chuck your email into the notes.
Yep.
Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think it'd be fair to say there's several different federations that you can compete in, but
for powerlifting,
yeah, at the moment, there's probably the main two that you'll see, hear about, possibly watch on social media would be the International Powerlifting Federation and the Global Powerlifting GPC committee. Now, with the IPF, the way it works is they've basically got two categories. You've got an equipped category and a raw category. And obviously here in Australia, the federation that's subject to testing, as Al was drug testing, as Al was mentioning before, is the APU.
Yep, which is under the IPF.
Under the IPF. There are other federations as well that are also subject to testing, but possibly their testing comes from an independent party that they pay to do the testing for their lifters. But I think the great thing about powerlifting in general is that it's a sport that most people can do forever. And the training, there's not you have to be Tuesday, Thursday at, 6 p.m., which is what a lot of sports or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you have to play on the weekend or whatever. You can train at whatever time suits you. And like Al said, there's a very clear pathway for progression if it's something you've got a natural aptitude for and you find that you're quite good at and you get quite motivated to do.
And if people are a bit, anxious about the idea of doing it in front of a crowd, this might actually be a perfect opportunity for them to dip their toes in.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's going to be no one there.
Didn't even think of that, but
to watch it because of the lockdown. So it's definitely about as low pressure as it's going to get.
It's very friendly. Yeah. It looks sometimes on social media, especially the pro raw events that you see, look terrifying, and a lot of the American events are very G'd up and everything. But all the local events here, it doesn't matter what federation, they're all very friendly.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you explain the difference between the raw and equipped?
Oh, okay. So In raw powerlifting, there are some aids that you're allowed to use: a belt, knee sleeves, and wrist wraps.
Yeah,
so
and they're pretty
neoprene knee
specific.
sleeve.
Like you'd have to go to the IPF or APU website probably to find out what those specifics are.
Yeah, the IPF sanction a group of different brands that you're allowed to wear in competition. So you'd have to check that the brand you're buying is actually IPF approved. And the equipped is basically a single ply suit with knee wraps, wrist straps.
Yeah, but
belts.
What's the effect of the suit? Because when I see people getting it, like it looks like it's kind of like putting on a knee sleeve for 80% of your body.
It's a great analogy, and I would even go so far as to say it's actually a bit tougher than that. Imagine a knee sleeve that's 2 sizes too small for you and trying to get that on.
Yeah, it's normally like a 2-3 person job to get someone into, if they're a big person, you can't just hoik them up off the ground. It's a bit of effort to get someone in.
Correct, and a lot of the time you'll see people sort of hanging off a power rack with one sleeve hanging off the power rack so they can drop into their suit. There's multi-ply suits, which you'll see in other federations, but in the IPF, it's a single-ply suit. And yeah, it is similar to the analogy you were just mentioning, but it actually makes, for instance, the squat really, really technical. I would say more technical than raw, because you have to actually, if you want to utilize the suit to its fullest, you need to be very, very good with your form and technique in terms of not coming off your line on the way in and out of the hole. Because if you come off your line, the suit just makes it more so. So the bar path will just go exactly with the direction the suit's driving.
Yeah, okay. So you pay a high, you get the potential to get a bit of help getting out of the bottom, but if you do that in a technically flawed way, the suit's going to help you get out of the bottom, but it's going to send you in directions you don't really want to go to get back up.
Yeah, and I mean, if the weight isn't heavy enough, you'll find it hard to even get into the bottom.
Yeah,
because the suit's that tight.
Okay. Now, if people, people might be like Al was saying. You see some videos online that sort of can make it seem a bit intimidating. I suspect if people have any exposure to powerlifting, I'd say there's a high likelihood that it's through something like Westside Barbell, and either seeing like documentaries about them and Louis Simmons, but they're not doing, generally they're not doing IPF stuff, are they? They're doing like multiply suits. From what I understand, they tend to work in leagues that don't test or have pretty limited testing.
And they're using knee wraps.
Yeah.
And the knee wraps, I mean, depending on the lifter you talk to, can give you 25, 50 kilos plus.
Yeah.
Without a suit.
Okay.
Didn't give me that.
What did it give you? Sore knees?
Sore knees.
You have to question whether you wrapped properly then.
And blood blisters.
But yeah, I think it was 2010 you had the advent of the raw division, and then I would say that powerlifting just pretty much exploded.
Oh, we should probably explain what the exercises are. It's 3 lifts. It's a barbell back squat, a bench press, and a deadlift. And you can do that as a conventional deadlift or as a sumo.
Yeah, and you get in competition, you'll get 3 attempts of each. They'll take your best 1 and they'll add the 3 up.
And that'll give you your total.
Correct.
Okay. So that's happening on the 22nd of August here.
Yep.
And if people are interested in it, they want to get involved, they need to email you. I'll write it down so I don't have to spell it out.
We can't have any spectators or anything this event, but moving forward, hopefully if things ease up, then yes, it's a free, everyone's more than welcome to come along and have a look.